Hi, I'm Carl Conrad and welcome to our weekly edition of Australian Immigration News. This channel is proudly brought to you by Australian Immigration Law Services, the company I founded more than 25 years ago and has helped tens of thousands of visa applicants achieve their dreams. And remember, I am just a guide here on your journey. My role is the easy part to help you along. It is all of you out there doing the hard work day in, day out to reach those goals. Now let's take a look at what's new in Australia's world of migration.
Start your engine!
On Friday this week, the Queensland Government announced a one-off priority processing arrangements for potential 491 visa applicants living in Queensland and meeting these sponsorship requirements. Normally, you would have to just sit back with your fingers crossed and they would select you from the EOI system. But until Tuesday, you can apply direct. Migration Queensland have also added some important notes for potential applicants to consider in an email they released on Friday. This is for people genuinely interested in 491 nomination. If you are nominated for a Skilled Work Regional 491 visa, Migration Queensland will not nominate you for the Skilled Nominate Permanent 190 visa. Requests for a change of nomination from 491 to 190 will not be responded to. Applicants for graduates of Queensland University who meet the requirements of the Skilled Work Regional Visa Subclass 491 are encouraged to register for priority processing. This is a targeted campaign to seek expression of interest for decision-ready applications. Registering your interest does not guarantee a nomination, as places are still very limited and the process remains competitive. If your application does not meet Queensland criteria or is not decision ready, it will be closed. Migration Queensland continues to process other pathways within our skilled nomination allocation for the 23 to 24 financial year. So it is still Saturday night, and I hope you learn of this news you will have applied in time. This stresses the importance of being ready for these weekly videos so you won't miss out on the latest events. Good luck to all who can register. If you are not certain you meet the requirements, we have put a link to their webpage in the description of this video. The national report comparing employment outcomes between international and domestic graduate students, called the Graduate Outcomes Survey, was released this week. The Australian Government Department of Education funds this report. It has some interesting results and goes a long way to rebuke the Home Affairs Minister's belief that most international student graduates end up driving Ubers. The 2023 report examines the short-term, i.e. 4 to 6 months after course completion, and the medium-term, 3 years after course completion, labour market outcomes. It compares domestic and international students' employment outcomes, and this has been done in a longitudinal study. The findings demonstrate that international students tend to cluster in certain study areas: business and management, computing and information systems, engineering, science and mathematics, and nursing. However, the proportions do vary by study level, as the pie graphs demonstrate here. For undergraduate degrees, 28.2% were in business and management, 15.8% in nursing, 10.8% in engineering, 10% in computing, 8% in science, and 27.2% in the other category. For postgraduate coursework, 34.5% was in business, 16.3% in computing, 9.8% in engineering, and 39.4% in other. For postgraduate research, it was markedly different, with 29.5% in science, 18.8% in engineering, 9.2% in humanities, 8.2% in business, and 34.4% in other. Now remember, this report is 90 pages long and is a statistician's dream read, but I'm just giving you the highlights for now. Regarding the skill utilization in the medium term, international students do very well compared to domestic students. However, the study did stress that domestic students who undertook postgraduate coursework and postgraduate research tended to be much older and hence had experience and employment networks to gain employment at a faster rate in the short term. In recent weeks, we had the Home Affairs Minister dumping on postgraduate PhD research students, but the figures indicate here that their professional employment outcomes match domestic students, even in the short term. Let's play that clip again for you. In the Sydney Morning Herald article, she says, "Our concern is PhD students who are not working in their field of study, who are working well below their skill level, and who have been here for very long periods of time, being granted ongoing temporary visas when they have no realistic pathway to permanency. It's not fair to them, it's not good for our country or our migration system." Perhaps the minister should reconsider the scrapping of the 485 visa second post-study workstream, which is planned sometime from July. The only thing stopping these PhD graduates from making their pathway to permanent residency is the minister herself, by restricting the time they can have on the graduate 485 visa, or if they're over 35, they may not get one at all. The Australian Computer Society, the ACS, will begin a new assessment processing arrangement from midnight the 18th of March. This will have no impact on applications already lodged, for they will just need to wait until their assessment criteria are finalised. The ACS promises, according to their website, that applications under their new processes will experience faster outcomes, more options, greater clarity, and instant updates. The new online application form should be more user-friendly, and it's reported that the ACS is hoping for a 15-day turnaround. Unfortunately, technological progress will come at a cost, fees increasing to $1,100, double the current rate. If you want to save some money, lodge your applications before the 19th of March. However, the higher price does give some benefits. Applicants will be able to nominate up to 3 ANSCO codes and then have them assessed together. From that perspective, then if you want to have multiple occupations to nominate on your EOIs, then it will be cheaper to apply after the changes take place. Currently, the ACS charge full fee for each nomination, so more than $1,500 for 3. In other skill assessment body news, VitaSess, the company which do the largest number of skilled occupations, have updated their information regarding hospitality managers. They acknowledge that managers of service departments should be readily included in this group of occupations. On their website, they state, "In the context of service departments for the occupation of hotel or motel manager, the applicant must be responsible for all aspects of the service department's operation, as well as demonstrating knowledge and experience in the following: an awareness of and interaction with body corporate legislation, when applicable, and demonstrated experience in liaising with numerous individual apartment owners, also when applicable." Now it's time to take a look at what's happening in the news cycle this week. After my video was released on Saturday night about the number of student visa refusals, the Sydney Morning Herald quickly followed up on Sunday with this article about migration cap by stealth. However, it is really not by stealth at all, for the Home Affairs Minister has already come out and said that they were deliberately trying to bring the numbers down. What was interesting in the article was how the government can get away with deliberately reducing an industry's productivity. Australian National University's Associate Director of Student Intakes, Brendan Lutwich, was quoted in the article as saying, "Can you imagine the outcry if the government suddenly told Rio Tinto their 3 iron ore carriers berthed at Gladstone Port wouldn't be able to depart with their product? There would be a huge outcry." It's a valid point. The education industry plays such a vital role in the nation's economy. It still surprises me that the government can take a wrecking ball approach and the nation doesn't seem to care. And more importantly, does the government have the right to say to businesses who have struggled hard to reach their percentage of market share, "Well, bad luck now and you just have to take a 20% cut in your turnover"? After this article, understandably, came a steady barrage of criticism towards the government, with more and more hitting the press. This brings me to the next article, again in the Sydney Morning Herald, with the heading, "Colleges Blacklist Students from Entire Countries." The story is about how some education providers have decided that due to the mass rejections of visa applicants from certain countries, not to take applications at all from those regions. In essence, they have been forced to form their own blacklist that reflects the Department of Home Affairs blacklist. In the article, a copy of a letter printed from Imagine Education Australia shows they are only taking applications from certain countries. In particular, they are not taking applications from those offshore from India, Pakistan, Nepal, or from anywhere in the Middle East. It seems providers are now forced to protect their rankings as more important than opening its doors to students from countries not on the list. In my 25 years of operating a business in this industry, I have never seen such a set of circumstances. Back when I started, the education industry was in its infancy and struggled hard to attract young, bright international students from anywhere. Another article by SBS came with the headline, "We have never refused so many." Even the students who have been lucky enough to make it to Australia find themselves lied to about the length of the working visa they will get when they finish. In addition, many will be discriminated against due to their age. We couldn't get enough of the students when the borders reopened after COVID, but now it seems that when we are bursting at the seams, we can't get them out of Australia fast enough. The government is now forcing providers not to take applications from certain countries, again not directly, but by stealth, using this ranking system as a gun to the head to the very institutions that need the business to survive. The use of such government power is very disturbing, as we all know what too much power can do when it's misused.
Treacherous is the sea, stronger than the foundations of the earth. All shall love me understand.
Well, that's enough for 1 week. A big thank you to the 85,000 people who have subscribed already, and with your continued support, we are aiming to reach 100,000 by the end of this year. Also, a super shout out to all the people I meet during my consultations. I am a very fortunate man indeed to meet such lovely people all week long. Remember, if you need help, we are always here. You can book a consultation online, or if it's urgent, just pick up the phone and talk to Pat or Hay. Don't forget to hit that like icon and share the video as much as you can to help us reach that 100,000 goal of subscribers by the end of the year. As always, take care out there and we'll see you next time. So bye for now.